Hello and welcome. We are the Ministry of the Real Truth. Welcome to part 2 of Proof that God Exists. Many people have claimed that they have had NDEs or near-death experiences, died, gone to heaven or even to hell, and in heaven seen and spoke to Jesus, felt God's presence, etc. But these people may not have been certified as clinically dead at the time by the experts or the doctors who examined them in a local hospital. They may have just had UBI or out of body experiences, a hallucination in accordance with scientifically explained actions or events that occur when one supposedly dies. We have talked with family, friends and others who have supposedly died, gone to heaven or a place of bliss, love, light, etc., and seen and talked with Jesus. And sometimes they'll see, well, he said, it's not your time, go back. They felt the presence of God, His love, seen long dead relatives or loved ones, etc. No, we are not doubting that they actually did, as many have told us that they have experienced NDEs, or that the people viewing this video in the comments will say, oh, I experienced a NDE, and this is what I saw. You don't know, you haven't experienced it, but I have, etc., etc. We have a family member who claims she died 3 times, sort of felt and talked with Jesus, but we believe she may have had hallucination or is an illusion, as we have no proof via doctors, nurses who treated her when she was taken into the hospital, and that I actually died, she saved me, it was because of her that I didn't die, I came out, but that didn't happen as it wasn't verified. It was actually verified by me by a nurse. I was 98% okay, I had nothing wrong with me. Possibly that I consume too much coffee and sugar. It could be a problem, right? Sorry, daughter, if you see this video, you watch this video and you get upset. But facts are facts that we must express as part of this video. You'll get over it. People don't or can't capture the actual events of the visits to heaven or hell, conversations with God or Jesus or angels on video as evidence that they had, right? They can only relay or retell their personal experiences of what went on through their near-death experiences to us, or on a show like it's supernatural, or it's supernatural, as many do. But many are just there to sell their book that they've written about their so-said experiences and make loads of cash. So there's no irrefutable video evidence that God, Jesus exists for all to see, and for all of us to see. That's certified as 100% genuine by certified experts. It's not like a bunch of actors paid to fake this video, etc. So we ask then, how does one prove that God and Jesus exists, or ever existed in Jesus' case? Well, here's what we believe to be a possible 100% plus proof. In or around 800 BCE, scribes, monks, hand-copied texts in or from an original ancient very old language, the Tab Asheret, that it appears they spoke and could write in, because that was their language the native language. The Tav Ashret, the Lishana Artigas Prayer, the sacred scribal language of God, of which he supposedly spoke to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden or Paradise. This is the language of previous peoples like Abraham, Isaac, Moses, and prophets like Daniel, Isaiah, perhaps Ezekiel, and so forth, maybe Ezra, in those scriptures. Translated into the nearest English equivalent by the native-born Aramaic-speaking translator Victor Nimrod Alexander, gotten from the original manuscripts from a high priest of that particular church, the Apostolic Orthodox Church of the East. He received in Bible book format the original manuscripts from this particular priest of the original ancient, very old Apostolic Church of the East, and he examined the 3,000-year older Mesopotamian cuneiform text, probably in the British Museum, and translated those into the nearest English equivalent. These are from when the ancient Nineveh Library was found in the early 1900s by archaeologist Henry Layard and his companion, who then transported 50,000 tablets to the British Museum and was helped with the translation of them, of the tablets, the shards, etc., the full tablets, by George Smith. This is the Old Testament manuscripts, etc., the cuneiform texts, etc., translated by Victor N. Alexander. That's what we're referring to. And also the original ancient, very old Galilean Aramaic New Testament manuscripts in the language Jesus and his 12 disciples spoke. They followed him around 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, and wrote in, recorded all in. Given appointed high priest of the original ancient, very old Apostolic Church of the East, which was destroyed around the 13th century, but reformed and became today's modern Apostolic Church of the East. And these were handed over by Thomas the Disciple, who perhaps founded it around and established it around 1st century AD with the help of the apostle, the latter apostle Adai, Bartholomew, and Peter, with the disciples before their martyrdom, who then hid from Emperor Constantine those manuscripts, those texts, because he wanted to possess them, maybe destroy them and those who possessed them, as his Roman empirical church was to be the mother church over all others. You all had to come underneath him, or his church, or us, suffer the consequences. Therefore, the church, in hiding them, these original Galilean Aramaic manuscripts, preserved them for over 2,000 years, as testified by once or former head patriarchate of that apostolic church, the Reformed Church, because that original church was destroyed in the 13th century. Original Church of the East, Apostolic Church of the East, Mar Isai Shimon in 1957. Also testified by Messianic Jew, translator Andrew Gabriel Roth, on his website statement, his project statement at thearamacscriptures.com. Note, it was up there years ago, but for some unknown reason he removed it, or is removed. But it can be found in one of his many books, or e-books, online, contained in there, as we found. So, someone, one of the 12 apostles, probably Matthew, supposedly a Greek, who was a tax collector, who logically could write, use numbers, do math, record it or write down names, etc. So he's pretty educated. All he and the 12 disciples saw as testators or testifiers to what Jesus did, what he said, miracle-wise, and so forth. Or it all being written down in their native language they spoke, Galilean Aramaic, as Peter was a Galilean fisherman, So his brothers, his biological brothers, would also have spoken the language Galilean, Aramaic or Galilean, as also Galilean fishermen. It could be referring to his brothers like friends of the faith later, but we're thinking no, it's actually talking about his actual biological brothers. And even Jesus is referred to in the scriptures as the man from Galilee, the man with the pigs, of which he sent the demonic man or insane man that they came across, and he said, you the Christ, and all this sort of stuff. Leave us, all this sort of stuff. He cast out those devils or those demons into these pigs, and the owner of the pigs saw the pigs just run off the cliff or something, and he says, hey, Galilean or magician, get away, that sort of thing. Right? And the Pharisees and the Sadducees and a crowd of people as witnesses when Peter etc. received the Holy Spirit, and they spoke in other languages, the languages of the crowd. And someone in the crowd stated, hey, aren't these guys Galileans? So how the heck can they speak my language? Be it Greek or other, say African or Persian or other distant countries' language. A language unknown to these particular men because they are well known as Galilean fishermen, Galileans. So if these men did indeed exist as top agnostic atheists, but the Ehrman stated in his misquoting Jesus debate, okay, this is actually written wrong. It should here be, if top agnostic atheists, but the Ehrman stated in his live misquoting Jesus debate from way back, said he believes that Jesus in fact did exist. He was a man that exists, but he's not the Jesus of the Christians, the modern Christians today. That's a completely different Jesus. But one would have to prove that beyond that Jesus actually existed. And supposedly he has proof that he was a real guy, a real man that actually existed. But again, he's not the Jesus of the Christians of today. It's very, very different. But one would have to prove that the 12 disciples actually existed, that they were real, who lived, by determining where they were buried after their martyrdom or their deaths, which can be done if, and it's a big if, capital I and capital F, those claiming to know and seemingly protecting these graves would allow it. Because some have been found in India, Israel, etc. But they say, oh no, it's sacrilegious, you can't do that, we won't let you examine it. Either they're hiding something, it's not the real grave, or it is, right? And they're protecting it, saying, oh, you can't, you might destroy it, or they might turn to ash or dust or something like that, right? Whatever they come out with. It's just like John the Baptist's head. Apparently there's a cult that has his head in a box or something, and it's under this church, this mass, this ancient church or whatever, way down in a cellar somewhere or something. And they wouldn't allow these people, probably the people who wrote that book, I can't remember its name now, about Jesus supposedly marrying Mary and then taking off to somewhere, and she had a child and all this sort of stuff, and then he had descendants and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it's the the holy, it's in the distance here. Yeah, the Holy Blood, the Holy Grail. The explosive, controversial international bestseller by Michael Bajan. Supposedly he was a New Zealander, a Kiwi. Richard Lee and Henry Lincoln, one of them was. Yeah, so according to that book. If those claiming to know and seemingly protect these graves would allow it in India, Israel, etc., then that would be evidence that these guys existed. even the great, supposedly the tomb of Abraham, etc., is supposed to be located in a certain place, and people say, oh yeah, it's over there or somewhere, but we're not going to reveal it to you because we don't want you digging it up and all that sort of stuff. But the Urim also stated that the Apostle Paul was a real man, he actually existed, who lived, and his 6 to 7 out of 13 letters he wrote, he's proved are authentic, the authentic letters of Paul. And he writes a certain way or style, and he actually added a key to identify that they were his genuine letters from him, written by him, to say his friends, other churches, maybe Timothy or something like that, right? His companion, whatever. To verify that it was him, he used a certain key. Yeah, because he was aware of fraudulent letters floating around in his day, claiming to be written by him when they weren't. It doesn't necessarily make them fake or fraudulent. It's just somebody decided, well, I'll write in the style of Paul because I like Paul. Yeah, I can't really call myself. I can't use my name, Noddy or Neddy or Gerald. It's just not. Won't be recognised. So I just pretend to be Paul, and get that recognition. People start reading it, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so he had certain keys to verify that those letters were actually written by him, because he's aware that there's fraudulent letters in his name floating around in his day. So he's making his friends aware. So there is proof here that Paul existed and they wrote genuine letters, as attested by top theologian, agnostic, atheist Bart D. Ehrman. But not Jesus, as he that Paul and his friends existed, and he didn't meet and greet Jesus. He saw him up in the sky through a vision, as he, like Constantine, had the similar vision of Jesus in the sky. They both never personally met him and sat down to a meal and a coffee and a conversation with Jesus. They had these supposedly visions, whether Paul's vision was actually true and Constantine's wasn't, because he was a mix. He was a Roman Christian pagan. He also believed in goddesses like Diana, etc., etc., like that. And he made himself a god. He had like what's that guy, Jovovich. Him and that lady went and had a look at the Arch of Victory or Triumph. Constantine supposedly had this vision, and Christ told him to put this red cross. We saw this red cross, and he was to put it on his clothing, his shields, etc., and he would conquer because of the sign, right? Etc., etc. They went up there and had a look at it. They couldn't touch it. They were on a crane, and they pointed out, hey, there's this god, probably like Poseidon or something like that. That god, Mithra or something like that. Where the heck's Christ on here? They've etched out Constantine's face. That's Constantine, there. And there's no crosses on any of the clothing or the shield. So what's going on? So obviously faked it. He might have faked it, right? Because this lady with him was an actual expert. So, yep, she verified that. And plus, this Constantine apparently created this new Roman form of Christianity, state Christianity. They had churches, like Roman Catholic churches around, and people used to go to that. And while they were upstairs, the soldiers, etc., these other people were underneath praising Mithra. These were found on this Jovovich documentary, etc. Timeline documentary. But some people say, oh yeah, but Jovovich is this and known for that, and he's dodgy. Well, he did show the evidence of these existing. And some lady had found, when she took a dog for a walk in England somewhere, this trench with these images of X's instead of crosses, carved in stone or wood, and a Mithraic image where the sun came through the tops of it. Like this looks like the lady, the Statue of Liberty lady, with the crown, but there's holes in it, so that sun would come through it and probably put its rays on them and all this sort of stuff, right? Okay, so we hope that you enjoyed this video and it's brought you some more insight. We may bring a part 3, so subscribe to us, subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and add your comments in the comment and demand that we bring you part 3, and we'll do that just for you. And then please go and share this particular video with your family, friends and others who may need this information. Again, thank you for watching this part 2, our particular video. Much appreciated. Again, don't forget to subscribe to us, give us a like, add your comments below, and then share it with all your family, friends and others. And maybe you'd like to buy us a coffee, because we're dying for some caffeine. There's a link below in the comments. It says buy us a coffee. Would you consider buying this one? Because we really need our caffeine. Okay, we'll see you again maybe in part 3.